little louder. Thank you.
That's going to take a couple seconds to roll. There we go. Should be rolling? Okay.
Okay.
All right, I got 4. You know I can't see. Look, I'm going to take this one right here. Throw it right in here. 4.
Joy, can you move to the side?
Not really. That's 3.
Wait a minute. Hey, wait a minute. Come here. There you go. Now I got 4. Hold your hand there. This is the second one. Raise it up now. Raise your hand up like that because I want you to do something.
Okay.
All right. When you tell me you're ready, I'm ready.
I'm ready.
You ready? All right. Hit that quick. Hit it. Wait a minute. Look at here. Wait a minute now.
Okay.
All eyes on me. All eyes on me. All eyes on me. Come on out there. There you go. There's all of them.
Thank you.
How's that?
Good. That was
Is that all
great.
right?
Woo!
Just for fun, where's this one at right here? See you look. Where's that at? Look good. You see it? All right, look. Watch this again. Look, I said. Wait a minute. I'm going to put this here. I'm going to do like that. Hey, come here. Come out there. All right.
That's awesome.
Y'all ready?
Yeah, we're ready to talk to you. That was great. Oh man, that was great. Can you state your name for us? Tell us your name.
William T. Dennis.
And what was your nickname?
He's Papa Dennis.
Did they call you anything else for nickname?
Some of them call me Cabbage.
Well, how did you get those 2 nicknames?
Well, just by people, you know. And I used to like the vegetable of cabbage, and they started calling me Cabbage.
What was your mom's name, maiden name, and your father's name?
Oh, my mother's name was Lily Mae Dennis. My father's name John Alexander Dennis.
And do you remember where they were born?
They were born in Baltimore.
Okay. Were you born in Baltimore?
Yes, ma'am.
What was your date of birth?
September the 21st, 1922.
And how long have you been Arabing?
Well, I started out in the early 30s. Arab, you know, as a helper, little boy, and we growed up into it. You know, we go to school on the weekends. In the summertime, we used Arab like that. You know, with the baskets. Yeah.
So what attracted you to Arabing?
Well, we just like to be around horses, you know, and we just continued to stay around there. Like that, you know.
Right. When was the first time that you drove a horse?
Oh, that been way back there. I'd say 1930, around 1937, 38. I was driving. I was still young, but I was driving. I used to haul, you know, sell coal in the bushel bags. Well, coal wasn't but 25 cents a bushel then. So you know that's been quite a while. And then we used to, when it get warm, the season changed like now, we used to sell, you know, potatoes, string beans and stuff like that, the regular stuff. And shad season, don't leave that out, because we'd start in there. Even before then, in the still the late 30s, they used to have barrels of rabbits. We used to sell them a quarter apiece. But after a while, they said that the rabbits was banded some kind of way, and they cut you out, stopped selling rabbits, you know. Because that was a whole lot of money in the 30s, you know, like that. If a woman bought one, see, because they were shot rabbits, and you learn to know how to take the heads off them and skin them for them. Some people didn't want them skinned. They had the fur and everything on them.
So people used to eat rabbit all the
Yeah,
time?
like around in the latter part of the year, like around November. That's when the rabbits, used to be around near Thanksgiving, yeah.
What stables did you work out of?
Well, one of them particular, well, the stables used to be up in Parish Street there. I worked out of that stable. And another man that had sponsored these Arabs, his uncle, I used to work out of his stable, Handy J. That was in the 1500 block of Pressman Street. I don't know the exact number, but that's what it was. He had a storefront. And we worked up there a long time. Then I was at the Allen stable too. They was down in the back of Waco Street, the 1100 block. Yeah, I was down there.
What was it like working for Mildred Allen?
Well, I never worked for her too much, but I was a helper because I was still young and, you know. But he had older brothers that worked, and I used to work with them at first. She was all right to work for.
Did you hang out with Bad Back?
That's who I hung out with, yeah. In fact, on several occasions, he had a brother called Papa, and well, he's in deceased now, but I was, they used to call me, that's why I told you, he used to call me Papa, and then they started calling me Papa Dennis. He used to call me Big Papa. See, Fatback used to be my helper, Eugene Allen. He was my helper once. Back in the 30s, that's when the bonus come out, you know, for them. And some of the fellas, they started buying their own horses. I mean, you know, the fellas that had got their bonus, you know. I think it come out in 1937 or 38. And then the bakeries was going out, like Smith's Bakery. See, everything was done by the wagons back there in the 30s, right? So Empire Laundry had wagons to sell, and also Smith's Bakery, which was on Winchester and Curry Street. That's where they stayed was. And they started getting rid of all the wagons, and they started coming into trucks, you know, to do the delivery. But I was out there when everything was done by the horse and wagon, even the milkman. That's the reason I only made one statement. I'm not speaking against nobody. Like they say, hey, it's too hot for the horses to be out too cold. I remember when them horses, the milkmen used to come out around 1 o'clock at night. Don't care how cold it was, they had to deliver that milk through the streets. Because if they hadn't, a whole lot of our ancestors, we wouldn't have been here. Maybe I would have today. Some people behind me, because they really served the milk in the quart bottle. And they had to get out early like that because there wasn't no trucks then with them. They had all horse and wagon. Now they tell you, just a little air, they say it's too cold.
What do you think about all these laws that are coming up against the Arabs?
Well, some of them is crazy. They may have some on the right track, but most of them, some of them is crazy.
What?
Because the horses survive. Because you as a person, I'm just going to ask you one question, and I don't mean no harm about it. You live where you live, and I live where I live. How can I tell you that you ain't eating? I'm not in your house. I mean, I might just know where you live, and that's it. I don't come in there. So how they can tell you they don't feed these horses? And when they come around, a horse is a horse. Like they say, oh, you'll kill that horse. A horse's life is just like a person's life. And if the horse get to know you, he know you. But animals have a contention from living like whenever, just like people. Some people die young, some people die old. Because right now I'm 75, see what I'm saying? And I must have survived through a whole lot of things, because when I tell you about the depression, I mean it was depression. If I had a quarter, that's why mom changed. I made a day. That quarter lasts me all day, see? But times change, you know, but they say, oh, that was in them days, them days, them days. Yeah, but the people survived. And another thing was very important. I hear them talk about the horses getting out there. I remember when it was real cold in the 30s. We had a horse hooked up, and we'd go to these abandoned buildings, but the people was working there, but they let you come in. When the machine stopped for a few minutes, you run out there and get one of them rafters and put it on your wagon, load it up. Load up all the wood you could, because you see you had to have it cut. Now sometimes we'd leave there like 5:30, 6 o'clock with a load. We had to carry it to the sawmill because the man wasn't going to saw no wood after a certain hour, so we'd have to dump the wood off, carry the team back to the stable. Now the next morning we get up early again. Now we go up, he's sawing the wood. Then we load it on the wagon and sell it. And that was a great thing. But it wasn't no hassle to us because we knew what we had to do. So, you know, they cut out the stoves. Because didn't nobody have no gas stoves then. Where you get a gas stove from? They look at all the new refrigeration. Horses took care of everything. Look at the ice. They used to go to the ice house and get ice. Sell ice on Sundays even now. So much a piece. Wasn't but 10-cent piece. Or 10 or 15-cent piece. Sometimes you had to carry them up to the third floor. So they didn't experience that, so they say, oh, that was nothing. I never seen a fan.
Well, what do you think is the difference between Arabbing back then and Arabbing now, though?
Well, the only difference I see, the cost of it is way more high now, you know, and, you know, it's rough. Because some of these guys, they never did nothing but help people, and they learned the Arab until they got a team. Well, a team, I mean the horse and wagon. And it's something that they love to do. Because just like you said, my age, I still come down, we check the animals, we got one. Because I got a little antique wagon I had bought for my grandson because I thought he was interested. But he wasn't, he just went to college. You know, you don't force a kid to do something that he don't want to do. And he did right good. He went to college, and I think he's just about getting ready to get married if he's not. But I'm saying, but I kept the wagon, you know. I had the wagon 20-some years. It's just something that you like to do, and you be around it, it interests you, you know. Because getting out here on the jobs, that's a different too. Now, I did work too, you know, because I drove for Masters Hams for years too. You know.
Oh, so you drove
You know,
a truck?
truck, yeah, oh yeah. I drove for Masters Hams.
Truck and horse.
Oh yeah, well, we always was around the horses. If we didn't have one, if we worked on jobs, there's a lot of people come around here now and look at the horses. Because they're mom, you know. This horse is more serious than what people think it really is. Because, you know, the ones that don't know, they say, oh, they I hear them say, oh, they don't feed the horses. Don't nobody be down here see you feed a horse. And I'm not talking against nobody. You can put 3 pails down there, and I bet you they wouldn't know which one to feed. Because, see, a horse, he's a dominant animal. You can carry him to the trough to make him drink, but he don't have to drink. If he don't want no water, he don't drink. And then that's the only technique that they knew. I knew this, as you call the woman's name, Miss Allen. I learned a lot from her when I was a little boy. I remember one time I had the horse out, and I was by myself. And every time I'd go, like I'm going further from the stable, the horse would slow up. But when I turned, and like I'm going upgrade to come back, he would start walking fast. So I turned down again. After a while, he got so he just sat right down the shaft. So I said, wonder what's the matter with this horse. Just a moment. I'll explain to you. You're not knowing, you don't know. So I said, the best thing for me to do is go to the stable. So I got up at the stable about 5 o'clock, because it was about 4. It didn't take me about an hour. And after I got up there, she learned me something. She said, oh, I know what's the matter with him. I said, look. Now, she's telling some men that was there. She said, look, go down that store and get me a box of ginger and get me a warm bottle of beer. And I never did forget that, what she's doing. And she took the horse and put him upside the pole and pulled him up, raised him up like this here, and took the beer and the ginger and mixed it in together and let it, you know, drink it. You know, he could drink, there was glass bottles. But he drank all of it. She said, now walk that horse. And I started walking him like around 7, 8. She come back, she stopped again. She said, keep walking, keep walking. So finally, he made like a stool. She said, walk him about another half hour. And I said, well, we might lose this horse. And I didn't know, because, you know, I'm young, I don't know nothing but no horse. All I know is to drive him, you know. Put that horse in the stable, and here's my hand. That next morning, that horse was showing us the sign that I didn't know. You know what he said? Did like that. That means thank you. And if a person be around a certain thing, you would know more about it than me. Like machinery, as a woman, you would know more about it than me. But a horse, I have took a stable. I'll tell you what you do. I can take a stable, And I serve these horses every day. And it's a little trick I'm going to tell you. I check every one of them horses. Now, you know, how would you find out if something's wrong with one of them horses or two?
Just looking at them, maybe?
Not just looking at them. I'll tell you what you do. When you feed up at night, that feed's supposed to be gone out that box. And this is an easy thing, but they would say, oh, that ain't nothing. Look in that box. If that feed ain't been touched, something's wrong with that horse right there. And you can call the man right there and say, look, say, I'm going to get this horse checked out.
Because they're supposed to.
Because the food that you give them is enough, but they're supposed to eat it.
Mm-hmm.
You don't overfeed them because you'll feed fast. See, and that ain't no good for them.
What does that mean, feed down?
Well, you'll get on the march, like, you know, if you jump, you know, like that. As you see, you only give them a certain amount. It's a quote. When they're not working, you give them a certain amount. When they're working, you give them a little more. See? Because that's their strength for the day. And they always go. But I thought that was a wonderful thing that I learned from her. Mm-hmm. And once you learn something from a woman, she knows something. She was the biggest woman I know was here with Arab. And she serviced a many one of us. Because I've had a many meal off the table through working with her. Man, I'm telling you.
What else did you learn from the old timers when you were coming out?
Well, it's different things, you know, because, well, I didn't take up no shoeing horses because back then, a lot of the white fellas there had blacksmiths and we'd go to them. Mm-hmm. But I mean, it's a whole lot of remedies. Some of the older fellas, they wouldn't tell you, you know, or show you like that, but they had some remedies. It wasn't many horses that I don't think died before their time like that, because you know what to do. And then years ago, the Society for Cruelty to Animals, they had a truck, had a big barrel in it, a white truck, like a pickup, and they'd come along the streets because horses would be going and coming. And this was a great thing. And they say, hey, you want some water? You know, if you needed something, you take your bucket over there, you get a little water. Mm-hmm. And different things you learn. Like when it's real hot, you got a horse out there, you only take your hand, you know, and just dip the water like that, and just wet his mouth. And then when the evening cool off, when it get cool, that's when you let him drink. See, you don't let him go to that trough and it's hot and he's working out there, because see, that'll cramp. I learned that, you know, and I know better, you know. You might have to tell some of these youngsters that go out because, you know, they really don't know. Because some people say keep the water on there at all times. That ain't no good. Because that water, you got dust, every kind of film going in the bucket. So why should you keep the bucket full of water all day? Because that was even straightened out one time here. I mean, you know about that. Because the judge even said, I didn't know if he was on there, he said, would you give your horse stale water? The lady had to think when she said it. So that's what it was, you know. But we got along, we made it, and we lived this year long. And I think that I'm blessed, you know. You know.
When you were Arabing, what was the difference? What were the different What were the different types of people that were around during that time Arabing? Were they mostly white or black?
Well, I'm gonna tell you, you had a lot of color and you had a lot of white. Cause over in these sections, like this was like the West End, you had people from this stable here, which was old Buck Pratt stable. And then his son had it for years till he passed. But I'm saying, if it didn't make no nationality who was Arab, if it was out there, I'm telling you. Because I know some real old Arabs before I started going out there. Used to come past my house. Used to have glass blocks in the window, you know, with the fruit and whatever they had, you know, and they had different things. Because a lot of things people don't know now. Some of them don't even know how to fix them. See, they had eggplants on, squashes, things like that. Well, corn, we know that's natural, you know. Because corn was a great thing. Because corn, you could take 10 cents and get very near 2 dozen of corn back then. Because, see, corn wasn't high. And we learned something from our mothers. Because you know what? That corn she'd let you eat so much that you wanted to eat on the cob. She'd take a knife, clean the corn, clean the hair, cut them. You know what she's going to do then? She make corn fritters. And make a batter, make corn fritters, just like you do eggplant. You can show some people an eggplant now, and they say, what you do with this thing? They don't know. Well, them people really did. And remember, they had to make a fire to cook all their food. And really, this is one thing that I can't figure out now. They had old skillets. But you know what? That food used to taste better than it tastes now. We have a taste for food that tastes better. Yeah.
What do you think about the way A-Rabbin has changed over the years in terms of, you know, how there used to be so many and now there's so few now. There used to be so many stables.
Well, yeah. Well, you see, a whole lot of people, like I told you, didn't make a difference. It was hard for you to find where it wasn't a stable because people had to make a living, and that's what they done. And, we would say hundreds and hundreds of more wagons than they just have around in here now, because there wasn't no telling where you might come through a little alley and they had a little stable in there like that, you know. And they said, oh, that's so-and-so stable. On both sides, east and west. And it was an amazing thing, because you'd see a many wagon down that mass market space, which where the old fish market used to be. Have you heard of the old fish market? Yeah, it was a plenty of wagons out every day. I bet you it was much as at least 400 wagons out some days. Now that's how many people was huckstering. It was really huckstering.
So,
And I ain't telling you but the carts and the fish carts and little carts standing on the corner selling fish. Because this was a real livelihood thing. Some places they parked every day. I know up in Carlton Street, where they call it Sandtown now. It used to be 3 or 4 fishermen used to park their little carts made out of fish box and wheelbarrow wheels on it and sold fish all day to make a living. And one guy of mine, excuse me, his name was James. He only had one arm. You know, he could clean fish good as air, one of them with 2 hands, and cut them right down the back. And I was amazed. I used to stand there and look at him sometimes. And he knowed what he was doing, and he was a fisherman. They used to call him Fishman James. And now you don't see the fish like you do now on the street, like they used to do. Because even around shad time, this time of year, you know, and around Easter, and before that, that's when the shad used to be really out. But it died down on that because a lot of people went into other things. And a whole lot of people now, see, we have a whole lot of problems because we got to think from one day to another. But it was a many person that took care of themselves. And that was amazing. Because you had to, because it wasn't nothing else to do, wasn't no work, you know, like really labor's work like that. They had some work too, but, you know, they had enough people. So a whole lot of people took it to A-Rab. I bet you if you'd have saw those days then, you'd have looked, you wouldn't have believed. I mean, wasn't them 400 or 500 people A-Rab? I mean, seriously. See, but now they just got a few here, a few up there. You know, the best they can do, and they're trying to do the best they can, you know. I imagine it would be more, but, you know, some of them see, because you carry your horses up from here, you got to bring them back. Cause when they take the stables from you, it ain't do it, you know. And that's harder on an older person, because I wouldn't take no wagon up and then bring the horse all the way back unless you hire somebody. See, because everything you have to pay for.
What did other people call what you did back then? What were the names of what people called your job back then?
Beg your pardon?
What did they call A-Rabbin back then in terms of other names?
Well, they just call it huckstering. Huckstering, yeah. Huckstering.
Do you remember, did you ever hear any stories of where the term A-Rabber came from?
The where?
The term A-Rabber came from?
No, ma'am. Never heard of it.
So you don't know where it came from at all? what were some of the things that, where were some of the routes that you went on? I mean, if there were so many Arabs out, weren't you competing for a lot of different streets?
Well, it didn't make no difference because you could see an Arab coming towards you and you be going against him. And he'll say, hey man, how you making out today? When we chat, say so and so and so. Sometimes you might have a load of apples on and I might have a load. And several times, I didn't tell you this, it wasn't only the men like that. And I remember during the wartime, they had a woman and she was out there too. I don't know if she had been on television or not. She was an Arab and took a horse and wagon out. And it was a couple, white ladies, was there and yet rented a horse and a wagon to Arab because they had to get their money together for, I forget, for the term to come up, you know. And they made good. They was in the paper. Mm-hmm.
Were there any Arabs that you remember that really stood out in your mind as being really their call or just the way they sold so much or anything?
Well, it was just the way that they sold, you know, like that. Then you had some standing Arabs. I remember elder man, I was still small then. His name was Russell Hopper. I'll never forget his name. He used to come down Moja Street in the morning time to Curry. And when you turn the corner, he would take all the stuff off and sit on the pace. Wouldn't nobody bother that, you know, because as the people come by, that was his own stand, like he made that, you know. And it was very, very interesting, you know. Watermelons the same way. We sold watermelon. We used to go, I went down to the boat and we paid 5 cents a piece for watermelon. Come back. Sometimes we sell them for 15 cents. Sometimes we wouldn't. You know, I'm just saying. Because one of them high. You could get so much. Because where was all your money coming from? That's what I'm trying to tell you. If you picked up 10, 15, or 20 cents from here and there, it was good. So when the day was over, some days if you made $1.50 or maybe $2.50, that was good because you could pay your little help going home. You'd be satisfied. Put the horse in the stable. Then the fees and things wasn't high like it is now. But see, it's hard to get different things. We had wheel makers here, used to build your wheels up, make your wagon. It's no more, because all that's gone out, see. In other words, we have to come to Dutch country if we really break a wheel bed, you know. And some of the old Dutch people, they still goes along with the wagon and stuff, make carriages and everything.
Where did you get that?
I just want to move this cable. It's getting in the way. This side.
The key still in there?
Just double check this.
Yeah.
Let's see, how do I want to do this? I want to do this like this.
Yeah, I think that would be good.
Let's try it like that for a couple minutes.
All right.
Where did you used to get your carts, your
What, that wagon?
wagons?
That wagons?
Yeah.
Oh, well, you see, at that time, like I'm explaining to you, see, they had hind stables, and they would hire their teams out. One of them was a great man called Ernest Franklin. He was down on the south end in Denver Street. Because during that day, you can see how different it is now. They charge $20 a day now or better for a team up here now, where you could get a little pony and a wagon for $1.50. Because, see, it wasn't that much money. If you sold for $6, $7, you had a good day. Because the cost of living and everything wasn't that high, see. But now, you see, a wagon will run you at least $20 a day, see. So if they work 5 days a week, that's $100 for team haul.
But back then, where did the stables get their wagons? Did they?
But well, they had their own wagons.
Oh, so they
They
could
had
get
them made. They had good wagons. Yeah.
And now you have to go to Judge Company to get it back.
You know, we got a guy here. He was making wagons,
Okay.
and he made most of these wagons you're seeing here, cause he go up and get the lumber and make them.
What's his name?
Waller Kelly. He was on one of them books, kneeling on the thing, starting wood. If you seen one of those books one time and looked on the back, that was him, Waller Kelly. He learned to build a wagon good, like the hucksters do. He make any kind of wagon. Yeah, he's very good with that.
What are some of your favorite horses that you remember back then? Were there any particular ones that you really loved? And
Not really, cause I loved them all. If I drove I loved them all. You know, they had some nice horses. But as I was younger, I used to like the ponies mostly too. You know, but I had the bigger horses, cause see, way back there then, those wagons was real big. Those wheels was that high, you know, and you couldn't lift one of them wheels up in there because it was really heavy. See, and this fella here, Mr. Kratz, he had some big wagons, the same stable, okay? But like I said, it was many stables. Some of them that I didn't know, because where you see they done made the landmarks of the city, they done took a lot of stables away, you know. But it was at least 5 or 6 stables on this circle here where you could just walk right to them almost. They're all gone. And we got other older Arabs in there too, you know.
now, was there any particular route that you took when you were?
No, well, some routes you take that you have customers on, you know, and it ain't too far. One time the guy that used to load us say, on Saturdays when we go out, they say, I can tell when stuff is selling, because you know why? When y'all leave, and I leave 20 or 30 minutes after you, say, I can see some wagons. Say, but when I don't see no wagons, I know y'all constantly moving. Stuff ain't selling now, ain't good. But we always used to do pretty good. I'm no kidding. He was a very nice man. And his nephew sponsored us one time, Freeman. I don't know if he's living or not. He was very sick, but he was over in Washington last time I heard him. But,
Stop until the rooster.
Yeah, let's stop a minute.
Wait. I can't hear.
you can't,
I can't hear you when the rooster's going.
Yeah.
Why is he doing that now?
I don't know.
I don't know.
He thinks the sun's coming out with these
Yeah. You want me to climb over there and try to?
Yeah, he won't come.
He won't.
He pro- I don't know what's. Hey,
Maybe we can get. Let me.
sometimes you need corn.
I used to want to go up to the Derby all the time,
Mm-hmm.
and my mother was, and we used to live close to it, and everybody would go, but my mother refused to take us. I'll never forget going past and smelling the horses and
Oh yeah.
wanting to see it on TV, and you know, I lived there and never got to really go on the track.
Oh, did you?
So
Oh.
it was, she was weird about it, but
Well, they don't huckster down there, did they?
not that I know of. I actually need to ask my.
Oh, they have markets and things. Oh yeah.
I
Okay.
need to ask my aunt because she is older and she would remember.
Mm-hmm.
But my mom claims that she didn't remember anything.
One time you couldn't tell here, I'm telling you, the early years now, wherever a stable was, because you might would have to accidentally, like you be walking through an alley, and you say, oh, I didn't know they had no horses up in there. You know, like that, because now they have name brand places, and you know where all the horses is now. You know what I'm saying.
Did you know of any stables or Arabs in New York or anywhere else?
New York, not really. Mm-mm.
In Philadelphia?
Not in Philadelphia neither.
In the South?
No.
No.
I didn't know none. I know they had horses in Philadelphia though, 'cause I had been up there and I've seen it. But I never saw what I saw here though. They ain't plentiful like this here now. And a whole lot of these horses don't even go out now. People don't believe until they have a parade how many horses that is really here yet. And we have just like not a handful of stables, because we have stables all around. Okay? Nothing is in East Baltimore, only down here in West Baltimore here, Bruce Street, and they took our stable and one on North Avenue. Just about 3 stables left.
Straighten that jacket out.
Oh,
This fabric keeps rubbing against
oh
it.
yeah.
Let's fix it.
Need a phone?
Yeah.
All right.
It's right here in my pocket. Why don't you keep it in your pocket?
Thank you. Okay. As soon as he shuts the door, we'll start. Okay.
You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Can you repeat that for me?
What I said?
About the stables.
About the stables and how there's only 3 left.
Oh, well, it ain't but really 3 left. Well, it's 4 because I forgot the Carriage people. I know that. And we have one up on North Avenue. Because the one we was in at Winchester, Sandtown, Winchester, getting ready to tear that down. There's no horses up there.
Now,
And that stable was up there over 100 years, the one that we're coming out of. That was called the Allen Stable, the Ward lived. Yeah, it's been up there about over 100 years.
how come they're tearing it down?
Well, you see, when the new development came in there for the houses, you know, they didn't want to leave that in there, or old building like that. So they're taking it, you know. Well, we had the whole alley, that was the whole block up there in Waco. And we had different garages for things, 2 stables up there.
How come there aren't any stables on the east side anymore? What happened?
Well, the last one, they claimed the boys starved the horses out or something, or the horses froze to death. Well, I don't see how that was. You know, I could ask you one question. Not that I'm saying that I want to be in favor of it all the time. You never know. Here we have horses standing here in these stables. If it's cold, it wouldn't be cold as it is out there. On the islands of the Jickatick, them ponies, they be out there, and maybe you might read up on this or hear about it. All winter, snowbound and everything. In the spring of the year, around September, they brings them over that water, bring them across the water on this side, and they sells them ponies. Now, how do they survive and the government throw hay down on the reservation? Where's the stable at over there? Show it to me, and I'll show you another one up in the sky. Because when it snows and all, them horses, they're supposed to be wild horses. They're not dumb. They lay down in valleys, and when that wind blows, they all stick together, and it keeps them warm. And you don't, believe it or not, check on it and see. The government throw hay down on the reservation. And they come across that water, it's some of the prettiest ponies you want to see. Now on this side over here, when they get over here, I think they trim some of them's feet down a little bit. But they have a bunch of horses that's over here on that island. No kidding.
Where else would you get horses?
That's the only place. Well, up the sale, you know. Because we don't know, I don't know where they really come from. The sale horses, they just come from one part of the country to another, you know. Some people haul them in, you know, and carry them to the sale, the merchant, you know, sell them. Yeah.
So where were the auction houses for the horses then?
Oh, I tell you, that's up in New Harlem. We got one here, and it's another one in a place called Fairmount. And it's a couple places, but we only go to the one up in New Harlem, Pennsylvania.
So even back then, you would go to New Holland.
Well, we had a sale right here. We used to have horses out the Union Stockyard years ago. You didn't have to go to sale. Not to get a horse, I ain't seen too many ponies. the Union Stockyard used to be over here on Dukeland Street, off of Wilkins Avenue. Yeah. That was way back there. Then they used to carry them to East Baltimore. That was another big stable was over there. Frank Dykeman. He went out. They used to have 25 or 30 horses over there. Easy.
Did you ever work for him?
No, I never worked for him. Some of these fellas in maybe that comes around you have, but I never worked for him. Yeah, he had plenty of team. Oh yeah.
What were some of the memorable events that happened to you while you were A-Rab?
How you mean?
Was there anything that really stood out, like a story that you'd like to tell? Or?
Not really. Not really.
Do you have any questions, Scott?
I did, but I can't remember. Do you have the list of questions? You don't?
What was the best thing about A-Rabbing and the hardest thing about it?
The hardest thing? I never seen nothing too hard about it. It was all easy, you know. See, because one thing, we didn't load as much stuff as these people put on now. See, we just had a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of that. And we mostly would sell out everything. And if you had a basket that wasn't open, if you wanted, a man would give you returns for it. But money was very, very thin, I'm telling you. But we did more with it than we do now. That's what I'm saying, you know. It was very, very thin. And like I say, we survived. I'm here. Some of them went on, but I'm saying I'm still here. But I always, see, I don't know about some people. If you're doing something that you like to do, that's a good thing, you know. And you never say it's hard, you know. Because whenever we be working, I just take one day for a day, you know. And we knew on the Saturdays was one of our best days, Friday and Saturday. We didn't worry. But like I said, we didn't put that much stuff on. Because these guys now, they load them wagons down. If they don't sell it all, they bring it back, you know. I ain't with that. I can't A-Rab like that.
How do you A-Rab?
I want the A-Rab where I can put on just what I'm going to sell, mostly. You have to have an idea, you know. Because that way you don't get jammed up. But like you say, you would know, but that'll be your way because, see, like you say, you don't see no A-Rabbers like that, see. This is a very important thing. And I wish they would continue, you know, because you got a lot of other fellas that still will mess around and participating in just the animal thing and the wagons, because, you know, that's all they probably know, you know. Because I just say like me, I've been around them horses all that long. They have much, oh, get the horses out there. What? Hey, well, what I'm going to do then? You go home and sit down all day, you're tired. See, at least you can get around, you see this, or you might got something there. And I said, well, hold it, let me see that strap. I said, you ain't doing it right, let me have it a minute and show you, you know, like that. Different things, you know, because you say, oh, well, he knows what to do. Sure. Because them harness is not easy to play with. You think it is because they're all fixed up. They're not easy to put together. Yeah.
Can you describe one of the harnesses that you used?
I can only, well, if you hook them up, you got a collar and your hames, you know. But I had to dramatize that to see it because, like you say, these guys, a lot of them got harness. They have them, you know, covered up where the dust don't get to them and everything. Well, here's a ointment of a horse. You know what that is?
Right.
That's a saddle. Not a riding saddle, a saddle going it back to the harness. Right there. See, you can tell. But see, if you didn't know, you wouldn't know what part it is or where to put it or fasten this strap or that strap. And there's a whole lot of things that they got that you like. Some people have them old antique bells. You got them, you got something too. It's just the idea of having them, you know. For some people, they know they can't use them. They put them different places where they can just hear that sound like a music box. That's right.
I heard they put bells on the horses
They do.
to let them know.
And I got antique bells. I got antique hame knobs. But my hame knobs go down like this because they are antique. In them days, you don't see nobody with them now. But it's a many horse. I don't know if it's your first time here or not, but they got some tremendous horses here. And they're coming in all the time. Let me see, it was a horse over there. It was a real tall horse, way taller than that gate. But like you say, you see a kid, an elder person, something if they've been doing it all their life, to go at, because I say, well, I can go down there and do this, go down there and do that. But they take the horse away, what you going to do then? Nothing. You're idling a lot of people, and then a lot of youngsters that was Arab, it cuts them off. They say, well, I can't do nothing. It's no good.
The young A-robbers today, do you think they listen to their elders, or are they?
Some of them, and some of them don't. I'll be frank with you. Because really, they don't know what it's all about.
What do you think that it's all about?
I say they don't know what it's all about because they don't have the understanding that an elder person has. Because you can tell them, say, hey, look at that strap. It's too long on there. Oh, that's all right. I'll make out with it. That ain't right. Wrong is not right. But you ain't trying to be smart with him because it might be something that'll ease the horse up. Because you got a saddle too loose. You keep doing him like that there, you're going to rub his back. You rub a sore on him. See, that's why I was talking. They don't know. They got to be fit and adjusted right on it, you know, like that. Everything has to be right. That's what, it ain't no good. Some guys don't know and they don't want to know. They're not interested, you know. Because just like you, if you're interested in anything, you would learn more quicker than some of the people because you're interested in it. Because I mean, like you say, no, now, you don't do that. I said, why? You said, because you showed me don't do that. I said, yeah, you're right. See what I mean? Because you're wise and you're trying to learn as much as you can out of something. See?
What do you think, just in terms of A-rabbing, what was some of the advice that the people, given by the people that taught you? What was some of the advice that, when you were coming up, that some of the A-rabbers told you?
Oh, well, they didn't tell me too much because, you know, if you're interested and I'm in there doing something, you might ask me a few questions. But you'll be watching me because you like what you see me doing. And you learn a lot by watching and looking. And then I answer, I say, hey, well, this is this, and this goes this way and that. And you say, yeah. Say, do it one more time. I do it one more time. Then you say, oh. Then one time you'll try it. And before you know it, you know as much as I know. Just by, I won't say I taught you, but you're interested in learning. You take notice when most people ain't interested in learning nothing, they don't know nothing. Because they don't want to learn. They say, oh, I don't want that, that's baby stuff. Show me something that I can do today. Well, it's the same thing. See? You know your quarters and you know what you're doing. So, you know, you let that go.
Why do you think the hollers came came into being for Arabbing?
Well, because that's where it was for years. Everybody had a holler.
Well, but just because it was a way of attracting people, or?
Yeah, it is. It is.
And can you do a holler for us?
Oh no, I can't do no holler.
No?
No, not now.
Mm-hmm.
No, I would, but I can't.
Okay.
You got some my age you almost can though. You ever heard of Manny Boy?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think he did one for us, yeah.
Yeah, see, I told you. Yeah. See. Yeah.
But, so what happens, it's an individual holler, so it's you.
Oh yeah, well, no, but see, sometimes I used to holler. I don't holler no more, you know. I got past that stage. Just like if you keep doing things or coming here and there, to make this a route here, this is a customer. You don't have to holler. You just say, hey, the vegetable man's here, or the egg man is here. What egg man? The magic egg man. See, that's what you say, you know. See, I've sold a few eggs, you know, and most people say, egg man, you know. See, every time you do something, you got a different name, you know. And whatever the majority go by or calling you, that's what they're calling. Hey, the egg man, magic egg man, you know. Sometimes I make it explode. But like I say, it gets the work done.
Well, thank you very much.
All right.
This is
I
great.
appreciate it. I don't mind it.
I really appreciate it.
I would have had a little more for you, but I didn't know this was going to be a thing like this, you know.
Look at you.
Because I got something I'll surprise you on, you know.
Okay.
And
Well,
I learned
we're
from myself, you know.
Yeah.
I know a few blues, you know.
Okay.
You know, I play a harmonica.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, see.
So you'll bring that next time and do.
Yeah, I will.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
I'll play you a couple.
What I need
So.
you to do so I can keep track of you, because when we do this again, I'd like to give you a call. I'd like for you to sign this release form. It basically describes how we're going to use this for the Arab.
When I put my signature on here, up here, right?
Yeah, right there.
W T T